Good morning everyone. So it's back to the start of another week then. All go in the shop as always. Back on the Jaguar for a little bit. You can see Tig is just working on the van. Got to keep the van pushing forwards. I've got some plans for that van and a couple of the other bits and pieces I've briefly said in the past. I'm going to keep that a little bit of a secret at the moment. You all know what we're doing with it, but I'll tell you the reasons why shortly as well. It's been quite exciting news on that side of things, from my side anyway. But yeah, keep an eye out for that one. So we're just pushing on with the van, working on the Jag again at the moment. I'm going to be honest, I've spent a good hour or so just messing around with the door catches, trying to get all of these working and trying to get everything lined up. I've got a bit of a parts box of various different things. A little bit more than an hour I spent on it actually. It's always tricky when you get a car in which you haven't stripped yourself. Obviously trying to figure out exactly how everything goes, but we need to get these doors lining up. Same with the boot, everything needs to line up before we can go on to the next stage of bodywork. So we are unfortunately missing the door striker at the moment, but I believe hopefully it's going to be the same size, same as the other one on the other side, sorry. So we'll be able to just swap the two over and do it one side at a time, which will just about work. A bit awkward, but we'll make it work. So yeah, progressing with things as much as we can really. So hopefully by the end of the week we'll be in poly with this one, which is the next stage. But basically it's just going to give us a uniform, one nice uniform colour. There's so many colours going on with this one and everything from the previous bodywork, we can't see exactly what's going on, so we'll get in one nice uniform colour, start blocking that down, and that'll show us where we need to work on the most. But I'll do all the gaps and lining up the larger areas first. We'll go from there really. So we've got the gaps lining up about as nice as they can be at the moment. Front and rear. Just onto the bodywork side of things then. Repeat the same for the other side. Like I said, I'm going to have to move the striker over hopefully. But it's not actually lining up too badly. It's quite a few, obviously some sort of issue that's going on down here with previous bodywork. Bottom of the door is kinked out as well, but nowhere near as bad as it could be. So yeah, keep doing it. Right then, this is the latest one to hit the shop. Freya's S14. I've been waiting for this one for a really long time. I've known Freya for years now on social media and everything. I think it's years. But yeah, come all the way from Yeovil this one, so 2.5+ hours. Quite some distance to come and see us, and obviously, fairly obvious what we're doing. Body kit. Cannot wait to get started on this one. We're going to make a bit of a start on it this week. Hopefully get the kit on, have a look and see exactly what we're planning on doing, because I'm not entirely sure how good the fit's going to be on this. Obviously fiberglass parts, they're reasonably flimsy ones, to be completely honest, which is a good thing sometimes with the fiberglass. So it makes it easier to actually fit. Sometimes with the poorer quality, they do end up with a lot of pinholes and a lot of finishing work and imperfections in them. These aren't looking terrible. But we'll give them a bake at some point during the process as well, because that also forces out all the air bubbles and voids. They suddenly come to light sometimes when you bake them. Obviously, air expands when it's warm, so suddenly what can look quite good ends up not being fantastic. But like I said, it's all expected to be fair, so we will give it a bake, figure out exactly what's happening with that side of things, and go from there. Ignore the scuff there. Probably shouldn't have shown that on the camera. Sorry, Frey. But obviously new kit in any case, so he's all good. We're not entirely sure what we're doing with this one just yet in terms of the colour side of things. So I think the original plan was to go to a really nice purple. I'm going to insert a photo now of that. But currently as it stands, we're just doing the kit red, plus all the blend panels. Whatever needs doing, we will get this looking as it should. I'm not sure, like I said, how I'm going to fit these parts just yet, whether they're actually going to be blended into the car or if there's going to be a sealant line or what the case may be, because obviously we've got these areas here which lie on this section. We'll see what happens when I actually fit the kit and mount it up to the car. But yeah, pop a comment in the comment section below, guys, in terms of what you reckon about the colour. It's Freya's decision at the end of the day, obviously. She's concerned about the resale value. I personally think it's her car at the moment. She's going to sell it eventually, but if she wants to keep it at the moment, she should be the colour that you want it, really. That's my personal view on things. And I think with the Jap cars and stuff nowadays, going to a really different colour, yes, it limits it to a point, doesn't it? It makes it quite unique to that individual. However, it's not a standard car. I personally think it would look absolutely amazing in the purple. But, like I said, it's Freya's decision at the end of the day. More than happy to do whatever colour she wants as the customer. Yeah, and to be fair, I always paint things red, don't I? I love red, as you know. So, yes, one of those. I'm going to really, really enjoy this project either way. But interested to see what you guys think about the colour decision and whether or not you reckon it might affect the resale value in future. Like I said, I personally, with a Jap car nowadays, none of them are standard. If it was a bone stock standard car, I would be saying, yeah, definitely got to keep it red. But I think personal preference at the end of the day, isn't it? But yeah, can't wait to get going on this one. See how we end up. It's going to be with us for a little while, this one, because we have got other projects lining up and building up in the background, like, you know. I think I might have to take back what I said about the front bumper. So we've got the sides fitting really nice. The whole bumper is on now, bolted on. All of this is nice and flush. That's all fine. Looks fine from here. and that's all fine as well. Obviously finishing touches at the edges and things like that, as always, to do, but the actual fit of this at the moment I'm really happy with, no problem, until you get to there. Which is nothing to do with the way that we fitted or anything, it is just the kit again, but should be a reasonably easy thing to fix. So I should just be able to space it out, essentially put some padding, bolster padding underneath, just to bring that fiberglass back up, you know, to make it sit where it needs to sit. It's all mounted, it's all completely sturdy, just obviously does not follow nicely along with the light, the lines of the lights. They're not actually bolted in, those lights, but they're not moving either, so they are pretty much where they are, where they need to be. So yeah, we just need to bring that up. You can see it sags quite badly there. Not a huge issue. That's it. Front bumper pretty much done for the you know for the initial fit. Sorry. Yeah, coming along. Okay, so just a little update on this one then. I've managed to use the original mounting brackets on the, well, from the original bumper, transferred them over to this one. I'll rivet them in place eventually onto this actual bumper, so they're a permanent fixture. They'll be nice and solid then, and the bumper will be able to come on and off. It's difficult to see on the photo because it's different colours as well, but you know, there's a lot of finishing work to do at that body line there, obviously. We've still got gaps here. That's not a problem. We can fill all that in. Grind a little bit off the corners, get those fitting a bit nicer. But for the most part, it's on. The line along the back is fine. Exhaust is an issue. Obviously, it's not lining up central at all, so what we'll probably end up doing is moving this whole aperture over to the right-hand side, I would imagine. And I potentially could widen it by that much. I think that might just make it too wide. It'd look a bit weird, wouldn't it? So I think what we're going to do is just move the whole aperture over that way, just centralize it. We'll decide about that later on. Again, same with this side. It's not terrible. It's a lot better than it was, but some finishing work to do at the join between the two, and then obviously we've got to sort the gap out as well, which is always the way. It's quite difficult to bring it up on the camera how these kind of things actually are in real life. You know, sometimes on the camera they don't look that bad, but trust me, it is. So, well, from what we want in any case it is. So we'll neaten all that up, get it looking really nice. At the end of the day, this is a body kit, but we need to make the body kit look like it's meant to be for the car. It's almost like a factory extra. It's just come straight out of the factory. It can't look like it's out of place at all, so we always go to the extra mile to try and get the kits fitting as nice as we possibly can. Again, side skirt is on, bolted on in place. I know it doesn't look like it. That is as good as I can possibly get it at this stage. That's basically how it fits. It's terrible. So the side skirts are what I'm going to have the most issue with. Front and rear bumpers I'm quite happy with now. To be honest, I've not spent an enormous amount of time on this car just yet, so no issues. But yeah, side skirt wise, we've got a lot of pressure there. Just to show you, too much stress, like I said. I could potentially bolt them in here and either have nice anodized bolts showing through, but I don't think Freya wants to go for that look. And to be fair, if we did it here, we'd need to do it on the rear as well, just to keep it looking the same. It looks quite nice, to be fair. They do, you know, it is a nice look sometimes, that sort of thing, because obviously this is a clear step, and that's meant to be there. Not sure what we're going to do with this just yet, but what I'll probably end up doing, like I said, we don't want any stress there, so I will tack it into place to start with, so it is there. Make some relief cuts. Got to work out where to make the relief cuts, but probably down this area here somewhere. Once we've made the relief cuts, we'll be able to mould this back into place a bit better, have it sitting where we need it, fiberglass it from the front, then we'll be able to remove it from the car, we'll be able to reinforce it and fiberglass it from the back, and effectively we will have made, shaped it so that it fits, and we'll be able to take it on and off from the car then, and it should fit, basically. I hope all that makes sense. I'll try and capture it in the next footage, bits and pieces in any case, but yeah, basically just trying to get any stress relieved from this and have it so it fits, essentially, simple as that. Right then guys, that's where I'm going to leave it for this week. Body kit is all on, as you've seen in the previous ones. We've done something, well, it looks rather crude from the outside. I think I briefly explained what we were up to. Just fiberglassed it from the outside, and that will all go. This is just to hold it into place for now, basically so that we can have this sitting like it was, you know, this is not now stressed at all, as I previously explained. It's just on there. Essentially it fits how it's meant to fit. Obviously there's work to be done on the top edge still, and they will be sealed onto the car eventually as well. That's the only way I'm going to be able to do these side skirts, is to seal them in place. But yeah, again, a bit more trimming work on the front edge of that one. And again, finishing work on things like this, but that's all how it's meant to be, or I'm happy with it at this stage in any case. I think I had a shot before of how stressed it was under tension before, but now literally you can see it basically fits how it's meant to. So just a bit of sealant on the back edge of there will make that fit really nicely. Same with the front. Front's actually, this front is actually the best one of the lot now. Again, you would have seen in the previous videos, just didn't fit at all, but they're coming along nicely. So yeah, basically, like I said, this is all just a structural thing at the moment to allow me to reinforce it and fiberglass it properly from the back end. Obviously giving it the shape that it needs, but I can reinforce it from the back. I know where it needs to be, and then all of this will be sanded off, you know, because this is just overlapped at the moment. That won't exist anymore. That'll all be removed and just fiberglass from the back instead. But basically, in some ways, it's like almost creating a mold for me, you know, me to be able to fiberglass it from the other side and get that shape. But yeah, and then quite a lot more work done on the Jag as well. Really slow, tedious progress, to be completely honest with you, on the Jag. It always is at this sort of stage, but it's getting all the door gaps and joins and everything lined up as nice as we possibly can. I think you'd see there, that is night and day compared to how it was at the start of the week. Hopefully I've got enough clips lined up for how it was. Still finishing fine line work and everything to do. You know, it's not quite right around this joint here at the moment, but it's certainly getting there, and it's an enormous amount better than it was. Yeah, a lot of work still to do. But again, this one we don't really know exactly, especially at this stage, how much work we're going to need to do. I'm doing the obvious bits. There's certain bits which are really obvious that need doing. There's so many colours going on, so many you know, previous attempts from previous body shops. Don't know exactly what it's going to be like until I get it into the next stage of poly, which will be quite soon. We can start blocking all that down, then it'll just be in one uniform colour. It'll have a guide coat over it so we can actually see what it's doing, and it'll allow me to see where we need to put the extra bodywork essentially. So I didn't even think we needed to go into this area here. I thought this was all good. Clearly it wasn't. Those were obvious areas when we started looking at it in a bit more detail. The rest of the car looks fairly decent, but again, I can't tell for sure until we get it to that next stage. It's always the issue, isn't it, with taking on a job which is from previous shops. But again, customer limitations. Everyone knows that we're not going to the extent that we could do. This is not a bare metal respray. You know, we just can't do that because obviously the amount of bodywork that's already been done to it. But it seems stable and sound. There's no rust. I'm not finding anything of great concern. It's just potentially not been done quite as well as it could have been in terms of the final fit and finish and everything. So that's what you know, that's where we come into it in any case. So we'll get it right. But yeah. Slow progress, but ticking over, and it will actually be in poly quite soon then. Gives you a bit more of an idea if you look at this side actually as to how everything was. I think, to be fair, the other side was the slightly worse side than this, but again, you can see the difference already in what we've done. Anyway, that's enough rambling as always. So I just wanted to say actually at the end of this video, if you've made it this far, thank you so much again for the new subscribers and everything, guys. We're up to over 1,000 now. I didn't even realize. I would have posted on Instagram or something to mark the occasion. To me, it's a big thing. I know there's a lot more people with a lot more subscribers than me, but for us in this little shop, it's fantastic to get up to 1,000. It's yeah, just a bit of a milestone for us. I didn't even realize it had happened because it happened really, really quick actually over the last, you know, I was monitoring it, but then just over the last video, I think it just absolutely shot up. So thank you to each and every one of you guys. As always, post in the comments if you want to hear anything from me and you know, particular attention or specific things, and try my best to accommodate you. And yeah, going forwards, hope to keep some of you guys around. Have a good weekend. I'll catch you next week.